Hello, everybody.
Hey!
Actually, what I should have done is I should have gone, "Hey, everybody," and then someone should have been like, "Hey, Dr. Nick." So, true story. Since it's just you and me right now, we don't have any viewers. People will be popping in shortly. Um, Years ago, I was at a gaming event, and the organizer got like 50 people's attention by
Hello, everybody!
Oh, well,
Hey!
hold on a second. Actually, what I should yeah, I had to pause that because it was doubling my voice. But no, he was trying to get everyone's attention. He yelled, "Hey, everybody!" And me and a friend of mine didn't even skip a beat. And went, "Hey, Dr. Nick!" And he basically hugged us and said, "You just made my night." All right, so what is new in the realm of CJ? Tell me the things that you are up to.
Let's see. So we rounded out the board of directors. We are going to be doing this thing next June for the convention thing. I went crazy. I got a whole bunch of Warmahorde stuff because I really want to play a lot more of it. So everybody who's watching will be able to pick between Protectorate, Legion, and Circle, which one I'm going to start building tonight. So we'll wait until somebody gives us some input on that.
I vote Legion. I vote Legion.
Legion? All right, I can do Legion.
So we'll see if someone can outvote me here in a little bit. So let's. Yeah, I'm gonna kind of post on Facebook real quick and let people know that we're live.
Yep, go ahead, and then I'll share it on my pages.
I've already shared it on all the groups.
Let's see here. So yeah, I think I got a pretty decent start here to 4 different factions.
Yeah, that's a pretty big amount right there.
Yeah, it's going to get kind of wild. We just wrapped up my Kador starter set today.
You know, it suddenly occurred to me we might have very few viewers today because of Memorial Day.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
I'm sure a lot of them are checking back in after a long weekend, so.
So look what I'm working on. Maltho Tower. Yep. Just so you know, people, I'm extremely tired. I have been up for the better part of 2 days because when I get into a work zone mode, for some reason I can't sleep. And I'd rather than lay there in bed, get stuff done. What I do. So, yeah, I've been working on this. I've also been working on a massive build project for. Ooh, that looks cool. A massive build project for game store. I cut 58 bases today. 58. Oh gosh.
That is a lot of bases.
Yes, and they're all roughly, give or take, here and there where we had excess left over. They're all roughly about 10 by 8. And they were all rounded out and everything. So that's a lot of bases. Then we started measuring out all the building. I had a couple helpers with me because this is for a local tournament that's going to be happening in less than 2 weeks.
Okay.
Unfortunately, one of my major helpers had to bail out. His wife had something going on, so we will see if we have it all complete. It'll be playable by the tournament. I just don't know if it'll be painted by the tournament. Mostly because that's a lot of pieces. Though 18 pieces of it is actually for my own personal Nurgle cityscape that I want to build. Ooh, I forgot. This one's the one that has the look, it's got the windows. Check that out.
Oh, that's pretty
the windows are scratched. Sad. Unhappy.
Okay.
We have a viewer. Hello, viewer.
Avio.
You have to answer a question, lone viewer. CJ, what is the question that you is answering?
All right. So I have 3 boxes that I just picked up this weekend, and I need to start assembling. So we want to know, should I put together my Legion of Everblight? Should we put together my Circle of Boros? Or should I put together my Protectorate of Minoth?
Legion of Everblight. One of us. One of us. Google gobble. Google gobble. But yeah, so that's what CJ's up to. I'm building a Malifaux tower. I am happy that I'm getting my Malifaux. I was building a bunch of them. Ah, it's Wild Chevy. Yes. We need to be on his, chat with him. Wild Chevy, do you just want to join us on the show? I can send you a link on Facebook. That way we can all just hang out and kind of chit-chat because it's Memorial Day, and I don't know if we're going to have a whole lot of viewers. See, Wild Chevy confirms. Legion it is. Your
okay.
dragon.
Thank you.
Okay. So whilst you start that, I'm going to be looking up Classcraft games. I think that's the only thing I don't like about these sets is they've made all the instructions online only. I prefer the instructions in the box because let's say that I was at a game store and I wanted to build these. For some reason, I am talking like Bill Cosby and I forget. You put the Jell-O in the pudding. This is what happens when I don't sleep for long periods of time. But no, it's just one of those things. I prefer written instructions. I don't like having to look at the screen, even though it is, saves paper, all that jazz. So. All right. Oh, pardon me, everybody. Yeah.
But yeah, I went kind of crazy with this. I got all the boxes. I got most of the tokens and templates and whatnot for everything.
Mm-hmm.
Dedicated transport for that. All kinds of stuff. So, I mean, I'm going to be able to start doing some bat reps here before too long, which would be kind of cool.
Nice. All right, so I suddenly find myself in a little bit of an impasse. These little windows, it looks like, they're plastic see-through. Go in, but I do have to paint it, and I will be airbrushing it, so I believe I will need to leave these out before I do that and then put them in afterwards. So what I need to do is I need to look at the instructions, and I need to figure out I need to figure out what to do with that particular one. So number 2.
There are so many, I don't know where to begin.
Start with the Lillans. Shredders. Shredders are awesome.
Shredders are done. So like I did already, I've had the 2-player Horde set for a long time, so those were already taken care of. Everything else is what's in the Legion of Everblight all-in-one army box. So we've got Seiren, Omen of Everblight, Nephilim Bloodseer, Scythian, Angelius, Neref, Strider Rangers, Strider Deathstalker, and 2 Blightedness Shepherds.
I'm trying to find a place to put my box. Yeah, there we go. You can kind of see what I'm working on there. It says the tower. Anybody who plays Malifaux will get that. All right. What's that you got to drink? I need to get a drink.
Me? I have just some cherry juice mixed with some cherry Pepsi.
I have water.
There was enough drinkage this weekend. 6, 7, 8, 9.
Yeah. We should plan a little mini hangout show where you come visit and we play Malifaux all weekend.
That would be actually a really good idea. I have no vacations planned between now and that convention, and I've got like 80 hours of leave time already stacked up, so.
Huzzah!
Yeah, I should definitely take some time out. Yeah, because I've got that.
How about this? Once I have completely assembled and painted, which is going to be the goal of this show for pretty much the next however long, all of my demo sets for Malifaux. After that. That's when you come to play, and then we do like a battle report.
Yeah, that'd be cool. That sounds really cool.
What does every one of the viewers think of that? Because that's only like a day drive, or actually, I think I was actually checking prices also for a trip I'm going to be taking. I think it's actually cheaper to fly than to drive.
It might be. I mean, the drive was only about 6-7 hours last time I came out to Salt Lake City area. So.
Yeah.
And I don't mind the drive because seriously, the Rockies are a gorgeous drive this time of year. So.
I checked prices on a trip to Vegas because I got some friends down there. And with my Suburban, that's only mostly because my Suburban's a gas hog.
Yeah.
Actually, almost the same price. It was maybe $20 more to fly, and the difference was an 8-hour drive or a 1-hour flight. I was just sitting there going, okay, maybe I'll just fly.
Yeah, I don't mind the drive as much because I've got a 2009 Corolla, so the gas mileage isn't too terrible on that. So, all right, so we're gonna start with all my One Pieces. So I was having trouble this weekend. The P3 glue that I bought was like really, really watery. Let's see if I still got it. I don't know. It was really, really watery. And then I have one of these old bottles of the Citadel super glues, and it was too thick. So I mixed the two together to see if that would work because nothing was gluing. But somebody brought up a really good plan for me now. I usually scrub most of my models down with like just soap and water.
Yeah.
But somebody had suggested getting isopropyl rubbing alcohol and just dipping it in here and then letting it air dry. And that started helping out, letting the glue stick a little bit.
Interesting.
So that's going to be my new thing.
I'm looking at these instructions to see how I can do this. It looks like I could glue these in later. It might make it a little difficult. Interesting. Very interesting.
Oh, that's overpowering.
So who else is with us? We have Wild Chevy with us. And then who else? I know there's someone out there watching us. Yeah, the tower's got to be one of the more complex kits that I've put together by Plastcraft Games.
Really?
Yeah, it's got those see-through windows.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the question also. The windows are see-through, and it's a nice factor. But unfortunately, these particular windows are pretty scuffed up. But they do look nice. So,
I got to figure out where I'm going to keep this. I'll put it in here for now. Okay. Let's let those air dry for a little bit.
All right. Well, we're going to start at the very beginning. I'm going to find where the ones are. There's the one. There's a million pieces in this thing. Well, not a million, but, not like GW level of pieces, but, a decent amount. When they're all white, it makes it a little interesting. Okay. I apologize, guys. Still looking over these instructions, which are not the easiest thing to decipher when you're extremely tired. So, CJ, what will be your poison? Neverborn Resurrectionists or Bayou Gremlins?
Shoot. These are what you have?
That's all I have. Yes. The now my Resurrectionists are first edition Resurrectionists, but the
metals.
Yeah, they work just the same.
Okay.
I have a theme for my Nicodeme set that you may find amusing.
Okay.
It is Inagata Davida Nicodeme. You've got like little. Here,
explain.
Okay. I'm gonna show you the base. Now keep in mind that I never actually finished this, but you'll take a look at Nicodeme, and he's a little shiny because I used a satin coat instead of a flat coat.
Okay.
But this is back when I was first getting into work, like maybe first got into Malifaux. And, all right, so here we go. Check this out.
Okay.
Let me focus the.
I see he's holding something.
Well, I mean, that's his vulture. You know, that's just his vulture that he holds.
Okay. Oh, yep. Okay. Yeah.
So let's see if we can get that to autofocus.
Yep. That's the one that I have.
You see what I put on?
My old business partner for Creator Hobbies, Ian, had assembled and painted them. So I've got them in a box around here somewhere. Right now, I've got a whole bunch of the Guild. But if I come out, I probably would play either Resurrectionist or Neverborn.
Okay, come on. Focus! Focus on Nicodine.
Okay.
Focus, I say. There we go. Okay, see that?
Oh.
So,
That's not good.
this is Inagata Davida Nicodine. I haven't painted him yet. But basically, he's going to be all sorts of psychedelic colors with glowing mushrooms. And all of the bases for my old first edition Resurrectionists have a Davida look to them.
Okay.
With a little custom mushrooms. Maybe mushroom green stuff and just a little bit of just a little metal pin. So it's just that. And then I grabbed a GW skull, you know, because I had one laying around and it looked cool. I got little swamp areas too, so that'll be fun. That's going to go onto my to-do list. I'll do that on one of the shows. I will finish painting up my Inagata Davida Nicodine.
What's going on, Dakota? Come here, girl.
All right.
Hey, Dakota. You're such a sweet dog. You're a sweetie.
Focus. Focus. There we go. Focusing.
So, yeah, I basically have formalized my announcement. Aside from my bi-weekly Pathfinder group I'm doing, for the time being, the only games I'm going to be playing are Infinity, Drop Zone Commander, Malifaux, and Warma Hordes.
Nice.
So I've got plenty of variety with those for different types of games, and they're all fairly easy for me to be able to manage collecting and building and whatnot.
My games right now are going to be Infinity, Malifaux, Warhammer 40,000, because we do have a fairly good scene out here. And then Warhammer Fantasy, I'm kind of waiting to see what happens at this point.
Yeah.
I've just stopped. It's so close now to release time that I'm just not paying attention until the release comes out. When the release comes out, we will see how things go.
Yep. Yeah, our 40K scene is okay out here, I guess. It does seem like a lot of people are really pushing towards Warma Hordes. I would say Warma Hordes is the #1 game system along the Front Range right now.
Yeah, Warma Hordes has a balanced system. The problem I have is that I really, really try to like the game. I like the fluff. I really like the background, and I try to like the game. And I like Hordes better than War Machine from a thematic standpoint, just because I like the models better. Yeah. But I have a hard time with it. It's not even necessarily scene. I've played in a horrible Warma Horde scene, and then I've played in a super competitive one. And I don't know, just something about it just never really clicks for me. The funny part is I've got a ton of Warma Hordes. I've got a ton of Legion, and I've got a ton of Manoth. And I even got a smattering of Khador and a little bit Troll Bloods, and I still just don't. I it hadn't bitten me quite yet.
Yeah, with me, I definitely like Circle and Legion most. That's actually what kind of drew me to trying and to check out the system, was because I love the models and the theme and the story of both. But I just wanted to get the War Machine 2-player box to round everything out too, and kind of know how the other side works. And I was talking to Miranda about it this weekend. It's like there definitely are a lot of competitive players out there, but I mean, it's no secret. I am a casual gamer. It's why I dabble in so many different games. So I'm much happier with, just playing with friends and having a good group here. I don't know if I would enjoy the competitive scene as much, because I've come across some of those guys, and some of them are pretty cool, but there's some of them out there that are just, all they want to do is beat your face in, and I'm not really big into those kind of games. So
we actually had a discussion about this on the local Salt Lake City Warhammer Fantasy group just this week, And we came to the conclusion, it doesn't matter if you're getting your face kicked. I've played games where I was getting my butt kicked and I had a blast because it was the matter of, the person I was playing with was an enjoyable person to play with.
Right.
And I think sometimes, it may not necessarily be that War of Hordes is a bad game, but it does have a hyper-competitive mindset. And I think that's possibly might be that blockade that I run into with it sometimes. I don't say it's not a bad game. I just have a hard time getting super excited to play it.
Yeah.
Now, I'm sure that what'll happen is eventually once I've painted up like everything I have and I start looking at them, and I go, because really right now it's more of preference is what is grabbing my attention the most. Because let's face it, as much as we complain and bitch and moan about Games Workshop, they have really cool stories. And they have really cool models.
They do, absolutely. That's why it's kind of hard for me to not play it anymore. I love the game. I love the lore. I love the system. I still play all the video games and have all the novels and stuff. It's just their releases come out too fast. I can't keep up with it anymore.
Well, that's the funny thing is we are actually talking about doing some Kill Team events out here.
Really?
There is a unofficial Kill Teams. It's like called Blood of Kittens or something like that. Let me see if I can
Blood of Kittens. I think I am familiar with Blood of Kittens. That's mainly
Herald of Ruin blogspot.
Yeah, Blood of Kittens I'm familiar of because of two particular rants against a very large convention and a very large transport company. So.
But no, I was just probably misspeaking from memory. But that is it's called the Heralds of Ruin. It looks like it's a WordPress. No, it's a blogspot. It's unofficial Warhammer 40,000 Kill Team. I've sort of skimmed through it, and it's actually fairly well written. It's not like expertly written, but it looks fun. And I've seen a couple of the guys playing games of this. It basically plays a bit like Mordheim, but for 40K.
Okay.
And we're talking about doing it. I'm sitting there going, well, this gives me an excuse to make my Nurgle Marine, squad.
And
I don't have to make a whole army. I could just take some old Marines and I can convert them to Grandpapa Nurgle.
And actually, on that note, that will work out well because I believe Nate, Overlord over on my Weekend Warriors channel, who owned Shield Breakers out here in Denver, he ran a Mordheim-based Kill Team League at his store, and it was really well done, well received. A lot of people liked it, so I'm not surprised that converting those rules over would be something that other people are doing.
I'm also going to try and get some Mordheim in on the Middenheim set. I showed it to my friend Todd, who the set is for, and he was blown away by the amount of terrain that was on that table. So once I get that painted up here a little bit later, I'm probably going to use that as an excuse to take a session on one of our shows to put together my Mordheim crew. Now, the fun part about that is, for those of you not aware, Mordheim's not a game that is actually published anymore. So there are real models.
For 15 years.
Yeah. There are models, but they're really hard to get a hold of, so it's just easier for you to convert your own. So I'm not going to get it right now, but that'll be on a later episode. But I basically got a old Empire plastic wizard that I ripped the head off of and put a succubus head on, and it's supposed to be like my Lost in the Damned sorcerer.
Okay.
And she carries this big sword and spear. She's just sort of like, ha ha! Because, apparently in Mordheim you wear fancy mustaches and go, ha ha! Why? We don't question why. It's just, that's just how things are. That's how things go in that land. Okay, so where is the number one? I still have not found the number one. I'm not looking that hard, though.
There's a lot of flash on this one. Yeah, after working with that the Kador plastic resin for the last 2 days, I'm very happy to be focusing on some metal Privateer Press models for the time
All
being.
right, I'm not gonna hold back. Privateer Press is probably some of the worst plastics that I've ever messed with.
Oh. It was really, really hard because I'm sitting there for hours on end holding pieces together for it to glue.
Did you score it?
Yeah, I scored it. I had already washed it. That's why I'm trying this alcohol dip method from now on. And even then, the super glues that I had didn't work. I ended up having to use, what's this called? Lean's Jewelry and Metal super glue. Because this is what I use on my Infinity models.
Well, that sucks.
Yeah. I mean, they came together okay. I mean,
I found the number one. Yay.
Thought that came out okay. The hardest part was getting the hands to stay glued on. And some of the other parts that I was working on. But I mean, it was a lot of work just holding it there and having everything get glued into place.
New X-Acto knife. Oh, new X-Acto knife blade.
That's something else I need to do. That probably would have made the whole process earlier. I have lost my pen vise, so I need to go back and try and find one.
Yeah, that's an important thing to have, your pen device.
That probably would have made this whole process a lot easier because I still have all of my all of the pins, the rods, but I just don't have the pin vise anywhere. I don't have either one of the ones I've ever owned in the past, and I think I had a third one. But I went through all my boxes today, and I cannot find it anywhere, so I need to go get a new one.
All right, let's take a look here. Yeah, I believe Memorial Day has hit us. We have 2 viewers.
Yeah, it's whatever.
Well,
people got to be coming home soon, so they're going to have to tune in and have something to do. Everything's already off the air, so there's no good TV shows on now.
That's true.
I mean, Game of Thrones is the only thing on right now.
Get renewed. I just don't get Fox or NBC or any of the big networks. Let's make this really awesome show that everybody will love, and then, you know, tank it if it doesn't meet our requirements on the first season.
Do they cancel Gotham?
I don't know about Gotham. I don't really keep up too much with the DC ones, but Constantine was one that I marathoned through pretty fast.
I knew from the get-go Constantine wasn't going to work. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because I know so many people that have worked in film production, like actual film production, not just the YouTube stuff. And it's just something told me at the previews that show is going to get canceled.
I will say it had a very supernatural feel to it. That was about the only thing that I thought to myself as to why I might have canceled it, because for myself, you give me a show like that, I'll watch it no matter what it is. But for others, like, they could just be like, well, why don't I just go watch Supernatural, right?
Yeah.
I could see that being a thing.
So, but I mean, there were a lot of good shows this season. I hear Heroes is coming back on, so I gotta find out what the deal is with that. I watched Flash from the get-go. So here's the thing about me. Like, I'm not really big into collecting comic books, but I like the comic book stuff. I mean, it's part of geek culture. I grew up loving Batman and Wolverine, and that was about it. Then per a lot of suggestions from friends, they asked me to watch Arrow last year, so I watched all of the Arrows, and it's like, all right, it's okay. And then the spinoff for Flash came on. I'm like, okay, I'm going to watch that. From the very first episode of The Flash to the last episode, the season finale here, that is now my favorite superhero. That show alone, I want to start collecting the Flash comic books. I want to learn everything I can about the Flash and all the different timelines. Like, it's like Batman Who.
Have you read Flashpoint yet?
I haven't gotten any of them yet. This is going to be a project here that might involve torrents.
Okay. No, just you can pick up the trades. This is okay. So I'm now using my knowledge from having a comic store for 6 months this year. The trade paperbacks for Flashpoint, you can pick them up or order them usually if you don't have like a comic store nearby. But it's for those not in the know, Flashpoint was the DC Comics event that created the New 52 continuity of DC Comics.
Okay.
When they canceled, it's been a while. It's been out for a while.
It's basically what Marvel's been doing with everything as of late, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
DC's doing another thing called Convergence right now, which is kind of similar. The funny thing is DC and Marvel are basically doing the exact same thing, except for Marvel's Secret Wars, this is the first time they've rebooted the universe. Whereas DC's rebooted it like 5 times at this point. You know.
Oh,
Like,
really? Okay.
yeah, it was like Crisis on Infinite Earths and all sorts of other ones.
I've heard of that one. Yeah.
And so on and so forth. Basically, the different, like, Golden Age Superman, there's a difference between Golden Age Superman back in the 50s, you know, the one who could, like, or the 50s and 60s, the one who could, like, fly around the earth and turn back time. Basically, the Superman that was a god, pretty much, versus the Superman of now. But I'm getting off track. Flashpoint was a really good storyline, and what it was about, without ruining anything, was about, you remember how Flash's mom got killed when he was a kid? He basically does his whole, like, goes back in time and saves her. Because you know how the Flash can go so fast that he can actually pierce the time barrier.
Yeah, the Speed Force allows him to do so.
Yeah. The problem is, when he does that, he creates an alternate timeline in which he is the only person that knows what's going on. Except that also his mind and body are catching up. For one, he doesn't have his power. So his mom never died, so he never got put into the situation that caused the accident to turn him into the Flash.
Oh.
And the other thing is that it caused massive changes to DC's continuity. Like, for instance, little things that made massive changes. For instance, instead of Bruce Wayne's parents dying, it was Bruce Wayne that got shot.
What?
Yeah. Flashpoint Batman is probably one of the best trades out of the whole thing. Because it's Thomas Wayne is Batman, and Martha Wayne went insane and turned into the Joker.
No.
Yep.
That is insane.
It is. It is very good.
Like, literally.
Yeah.
And figuratively.
Superman landed in Metropolis instead of Kansas, and unfortunately killed like 100,000 people in the crash. So the U.S. government has had custody of him since he was a baby. Which also means that Superman never became like the American hero. Instead, he was kind of just a lab experiment.
Wow.
So, Cyborg is the quote-unquote United States American hero. Which is kind of interesting, because you don't really see him as that type, but it's interesting to see him in that role. And then there's other, like, little things going on with certain heroes. Since there was no Joker, Harley Quinn never became Harley Quinn. Instead, she became this this weird bank robber type chick named Yo-Yo that uses yo-yo gadgets. It's weird. But probably the biggest one, the end of the world scenario that's going on, because the Justice League was never formed, Atlantis and Themyscira are at war.
What?
Yeah. Apparently there was this whole thing where Diana and Aquaman hooked up, and Aquaman's wife got mad and challenged Diana, and then Diana killed her, and then this massive war between Amazons and Atlanteans broke out, and they destroyed all of Europe.
Damn.
Yeah, I mean, just gone. Either flooded or killed by Amazons. One of the two. And there's horrible things going on there.
That's hefty.
Yeah, and that's basically what the whole, like, you know, because they basically the whole end of the world scenario going on, because there's weapons of mass destruction involved now. It's kind of got a Watchmen feel to it, to be honest.
Okay.
You know, kind of a countdown doom kind of thing, and I really enjoyed it reading through it. They also made an animated movie of it. If you could probably find that online to watch.
I'm gonna have to check that out. Yeah. Because that I do like. There's just so many comic books out there. I tend to just kind of get a synopsis from the actual whatever I can find on Netflix and whatever's on television and movies and whatnot. So, but that's crazy. Yeah.
But yeah, I would check that out. One of the weirder things that happened also what I like about these alternate timelines is it changes some of the villains. You know, so when heroes go bad, the villains are all like the good guys, or you know, they're at least trying to go like, "Hey, dude, I'm a bad guy, and I think this is wrong."
Yeah.
So it's interesting because you see like Deathstroke is a pirate, and he's like working as like almost like a freedom fighter kind of survivalist kind of guy. I think my favorite change out of the whole bunch was Shazam, Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
It's not Billy Batson. Instead, it's Billy Batson and all of his orphan friends.
Okay, that's better. I thought you were going to say it was Billy Mays.
Nope. Instead of Billy Batson getting all of it, it got split up. You know how Shazam stands for like various parts of the various power of Captain Marvel.
Yes.
Basically, the Wizards split it up between the different kids, so they have to yell Shazam together at the same time to turn into Captain Marvel.
Interesting.
And that version of Captain Marvel is also a lot more vicious because of the goings on in his world. He don't screw around. He's got this massive scar across his face from a fight with Wonder Woman.
Wow. I'm gonna have to check out that.
Flashpoint is good stuff. Of course, you know, in the long run, Flash does eventually recombine the universes because that's how they roll with this kind of stuff. But it was a really cool idea for how they did the new continuity. I liked it a lot better than all the various Crisis on Infinite Earths and such and so on.
Okay.
I did get a early birthday present this weekend, though.
And what was that?
Arkham Origins on Steam.
Oh, nice. You get that yourself, or somebody picked it up for you?
I had it on my wish list, and I just kind of casually threw my wish list up there on Facebook, and two friends were like, "Hey, yeah, here you go."
Nice.
I always do that every year, and I never think about it. I just do it like, it's close to my birthday. I'll throw it up there.
Ah, of course. Now it's all super glued together.
What's all super glued together?
The lid.
I know a trick. Do you have a pair of pliers?
Yes. 1 minute.
Okay. Go grab a pair of pliers. Come back. I'll show you the trick.
Pliers were downstairs.
So is our comment box working? I'm trying to figure this out. It's kind of tonight. Yes, it seems to be working. Do you hear? Okay. All right, I'm going to get back to my building of my Malifaux Tower. Let's take a look here. These are all the little bits that came out of the window thingy. This is one of the window thingies. It's supposed to hold one of these. So, I glue it on like that. Yeah, it goes. I see how this works now. Put those on there on this little frame, and then you glue it into place. So these will have to get glued in at a later point. There's no way around that. But with that being said, I will go ahead and pop these off so that they're easier to store. Woo! DJ is finding his tires. Oh, we have 3 viewers! Yay! Hello, third viewer. Oh, third viewer left. We should try if anybody's ever interested in hopping on the show with us. Let us know. We can always send you an invite, and that way we have some people, other than me and CJ.
Correction. had pliers. Don't know where they went.
No! You had one job. One job.
Let's see here. But I imagine I still have a couple options here.
But basically, the basic idea is whenever you have a problem with like glue forming around the tip or stuff like that, you can grab a pair of pliers. Usually like hand grip and a plier, or not a hand grip. I can't think of the name of the tool. But basically, get two gripping tools. Grab the top and then grab the other one and just kind of twist it gently, and it'll pop right off. Because the pressure will, it'll make it disentangle from whatever surface area it's on.
Here.
Spoken for many times of having to get glue bottles undone like that. This is the only thing that I kind of dislike about the Plasticraft kits is their cutting mechanism. It's neat how it punches them out, but at the same time, you pretty much have to cut them out like this.
So I've never really used the Plasticraft ones. What can you tell me about them there?
Okay, so Matt at Me Wargaming did a review of various Infinity kits like a year or so back.
Okay.
And Plasticraft Games was one of them. Now, cost-wise, I think these rank as some of the cheaper ones. I definitely like the designs and the modularness that they go for with their kits. About the only thing is that they are probably the least durable on the market in terms of, well, okay, let me give you an example. This is a random chunk that's just, this is trash. This is just some of the punch out, right?
Okay.
Now, let's take a look-see here. I can do this without hardly any pressure. So, the durability, it's a form of like plastic foam. So it's not terribly durable. It's durable enough as long as you're not you don't let kids get a hold of it and let them punt it into the ground.
So it's not good for maybe a store terrain, but it's probably fine for your personal collection.
Exactly. If it was store terrain, I would just not advise it. But if it was your personal collection or you're a demo player for Malifaux, or maybe even tournament scenes, something you bring in for events, then it's really good. I've got that whole set of Plasticraft Infinity terrain, and I really like it, and I have fun playing on it. One of the upsides also, though, is that because it's a plastic foam, it's easier to convert, and it's also easier to glue together than, say, a wood MDF kit or a plastic. Okay. More of those things that'll have to be glued in at a later point.
So what brand of super glues do you use?
I use MaxiCure, which you can pick up at the the Orem, Utah Hobby Stop. Stop by, pick some of that up. I know the owner; he's pretty cool. But no, MaxiCure is good stuff. I've used a lot of different super glues over the years, but this is the one I've been using since really getting into it in a serious manner, and it's a rubberized super glue. So rather than being very brittle and breaking off, it has more bend to it once it dries. And
okay.
Moshcopter says, "Hey, terrain guy." Hello, Moshcopter. How are you on this fine afternoon, evening-ish time? You'll find when I'm deprived that my vocabulary gets weird, interesting, and I forget words. Like today.
Yeah, I am absolutely going to have to find a new pen vise to be able to finish this model. It's too heavy to do on its own.
Which one is it?
This is the Angelius, I think.
Ooh, yeah. That's a good one.
Yeah, there's no way that I'm going to be able to do this without pin vicing it.
Yeah, you gotta pin all the metal war beasts for Legion. You have too much going on.
Yeah, so we will move those up here. We will get to those when I get around to finding a new pin vice.
All right, so I'm going to talk about something that is going to be exciting. I'm excited because it's tomorrow night for me. So we've kind of started putting some game groups together, for different games, because we have the game club that we have, out of the studio.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, we were trying to do an only war RPG, but the GM, his work schedule got crazy, and we just had to bow out of that. So I've managed to put together a group of people who are interested in playing A Song of Ice and Fire.
Woohoo!
We are playing Game of Thrones tomorrow night. Oh, Moshcopter, it's 3 in the morning in Germany. Well, thank you for joining us at 3 in the morning. We're just kind of, doing our thing here. Feel free to chime in on the conversation. Just kind of rambling about nerdy crap at the moment while we work on some stuff. For those of you who have just shown up, I'm working on a tower kit for Malifaux. I'm just kind of cutting out some stuff right now, and I'm going to assemble it. I may not get through the whole kit tonight. Because that's the thing, is these kits are very high detail. But yeah, I'm excited. We're going to be playing Game of Thrones. I kind of did a little bit of a talk around with people when we were all hanging out playing Infinity last week. And CJ, are you familiar with Game of Thrones?
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit?
Just like with the novels and Westeros and the TV show and my 3.5 D&D campaign and a little bit.
So a lot of it is what you're saying.
Pretty much, yeah.
So I decided I wanted to set the game before the books. So it's taking place like 4 or 5 years before Robert's Rebellion. And it's also taking place before the Battle of Duskendale. Do you remember that one?
Which battle was that?
When King Aerys got kidnapped for a year.
Yes.
So he hasn't been starting to be referred to as the Mad King just yet. It's close to that time. His madness is coming in spurts right now, but it hasn't gone into full tilt, Oku, deer, he's burning people with wildfire.
Right.
So I did put a ban on them that they couldn't play houses that were like in boring parts of the world in terms of the early events leading up to the books. So they couldn't play Dorne. So they couldn't be sworn to House Martell. For those who are not aware, in A Song of Ice and Fire, the role-playing game, you create a minor house as a group that is sworn to one of the 7 great houses. So they couldn't be sworn to House Martell, House Greyjoy, or Dragonstone, which changes houses during the events before the books end. With that being said, they all as a group decided to settle on House Tyrell, which was unexpected. I was half expecting them to go like House Stark or House Tully.
Right.
But they went House Tyrell, so now they're all members of like the Reach. The upside is I got to create an antagonist Dornish house. That's really going to be fun. So have you ever played the role-playing game, like the official one, or just the 3.5?
Nope, all I did was the Dungeons & Dragons 3rd edition Dungeon and Dragon magazines, and we implemented it and built a campaign off of it.
Nice.
So, in fact, it may not have been really a campaign. It was more like a couple months of adventures, and that was about it.
Oh, cool. All right, where's the 5s?
The Greenleaf's all, what? It's not Tuesday.
Yeah, we had to change our schedules for some stuff mostly. just to be able to get some stuff done, like work schedule change, and then we just started moving stuff around, and I started realizing that if I didn't change when the live show was going to be, we wouldn't be able to do all the things we were planning on doing, both with club game days and then my work days as well. So we ended up moving it to Mondays just because Mondays didn't have anything going on, and it was just sort of like, yeah, the live show could happen on Mondays.
I'm actually going to like that a lot more, because if I go back to work on Mondays and it's a really crazy day at work, I'm going to want to just relax and get off of it here at home. So this works out great for me.
Yeah, I announced that on the show last week that we were going to switch it to Mondays, and that it won't switch again. It'll stay on Mondays from now on, just because now we have our Infinity group is meeting on Wednesdays. We do 40K on Thursdays. We do sort of a casual game day on Saturdays. Wow, this is really thick card stock that this one's on. And then we also just do our casual like RPG night on Tuesday nights, which is just me and some friends.
And if any of you are watching from Colorado, I host events here at my place all the time. We do a board game day the first Saturday of each month. I've got a bi-weekly Pathfinder game that I host here. We're doing the Rise of the Rulers Adventure Anniversary Edition right now, Adventure Path. And then pretty much any evening and weekend, people are welcome to come on down here and get in any kind of miniature game in with me, because I've got this entire room, which I'll show real quick. All of this space for miniature gaming. It's so much space. So I'm totally down if you're in the Denver area, in Southwest Denver. Come on down to me. I'm around Littleton, and I'd be down to play any kind of game and put it up on Ustream or do bat reps for YouTube. So
I'm going to start live streaming as soon as I get a normal schedule again. I've been pulling extremely long hours and not been able to really like predict it for the moment because I'm on some hard deadlines.
Yeah.
Still trying to get these armies painted up because just juggling a lot of projects at once right now.
So speaking of conventions, that's a question I've had for you. How are your guys' gaming conventions out there in Salt Lake City? Are they pretty decent size? I've
not been to them, actually. We've apparently got 2 gaming conventions. One's a Wild Chevy here, who's watching this, is Salt City Gladiator Con is up in Farmington, I believe. And then apparently there's this other new con that's called the Salt Lake City Gaming Con that has just launched. So I will have to get back to you on that later this year.
All right. When are those conventions?
I would know that the gaming con's in August. I think they're both like within a week of each other.
Oh, okay.
Do you care to chime in on that if you are still with us?
Plug.
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 Plug. Yeah, we'll look that up here in a second. Let's see. That's the sound I make when I'm grumpy. Salt City Gladiator Con. Their Gladiator Games. August 21st through the 23rd at the Legacy Event Center in Farmington, Utah. They've got looks like a log spot. Just look saltcitygladiatorgames.com. So that's the first one. And then the second one, website load. The second one is a gaming. Oh, look, Settlers of Catan. Yeah, Jake Williams is the guy who just started this, and it's not loaded. It's doing that. Okay, I'm going to go to a different page because apparently it's one of those ones. It's like, fill out this, quiz to be able to read the content. And I'm just like, no, nobody likes you. No way.
Don't you tell us what to do, Internet.
Okay, the other one is August 6th through the 8th at the Southtown Expo Center in Salt Lake. So those are because the other one I said was like later in the month, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so those are on opposite ends of the month. So August is going to be an interesting month out here for us to get some con on. We'll see if I'm able to make it though, because I'm gonna check real quick to see when Scarefest is. So one of the things I do other than wargaming is I'm a big horror movie fanatic, and my hometown hosts a yearly horror movie convention. Okay, it's September 19th, so I will be able to make Scarefest and those two cons as well. Because I'm planning a trip home in the fall, which is going to coincide with Scarefest. That shall be fun. All right, so yes, we plugged it. It has plugged the local conventions, and then you have fired on all guns with your convention, correct?
Yes, we have our board of directors. We are now finalizing, formalizing the nonprofit, and we're slowly going to be releasing stuff out. We're going to just double check some other venues, make sure that it's on par with what's expected with a venue. But yeah, it's coming together, and we'll start getting more announcements here within the next month or two. We just want to make sure we get everything, the foundation done right, and then get up some good framing with good event organizers, and then we're probably going to let a lot of the event organizers just kind of run with it and run it how they want. One thing I don't like is how some of these conventions have micromanaged, and they haven't actually brought anything new and refreshing in each year. So what we want to do with the board is kind of alleviate that. Let the organizers hold full responsibility for their own cons, their own events. We're still obviously going to support it and do what we have to, but kind of let them do their thing. And then we're going to, what was the other thing I was saying? We're going to focus more on bringing in newer things ourselves to keep things refreshing and worth coming back year after year, so it doesn't get boring and dry. Like it's just, like the one con we have here, GenghisCon and Tacticon. It's the same group that runs it, about 6 months and apart, and it's vanilla. It's the same thing every single year. It's fun because it's a gaming convention and we can get together and do stuff, but it doesn't keep you wanting to come every single year. It's like, yay, if I have the weekend off, I'll go ahead and go to it and hang out with
We had a little local gaming convention like that on University of Kentucky's gaming club would throw, and it kind of had that feel to it every year. We would change it up, and we even tried to introduce like wargaming into it one year, which was a fiasco, I might add. That was the most stressful, ungodly thing of all time.
So have you worked with a lot of cons before, or?
Not cons per se. That was the only time I actually did anything with a con. Was that whole thing. But I've worked with gaming stores in depth at different points in my life, so I kind of get a feel for what you're talking about there with the just kind of the same old thing. That's kind of I think that's something people who are in our industry get into, and they don't realize that's actually not a good thing, depending on what area of the industry you're in.
What do you mean exactly?
Well, I mean, you have to change it up to keep your audience interested.
Yes.
I kind of equate it, a yearly convention still has to be interesting. It can be somewhat stagnant because it's only once a year. But, if you find a formula that works, don't fix it if it broke, that kind of thing. But kind of compare it to, your local game store that does the same types of tournaments and leagues constantly, right? After a while, you're going to get a little bored. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, I agree with that. It's something that I picked up working in restaurant industry. You got to keep the menu fresh. If you serve the same thing all the time, it's going to get stale, and people are going to go someplace down the street. So.
I'm going to have a hamburger and fries.
Yeah, but maybe you want to, I don't know,
a guacamole burger one day, and then
And then I'm that person who's like,
Swiss.
why'd you change the menu? Come on. What are you doing here? I liked it the way it was. Now you changed everything. I don't like change.
you got your regulars, and then you just got something interesting added on.
I didn't need no, you didn't have to pizzazz up my burger. Why'd you pizzazz up my burger? Pizzazz. Jeez.
Oh my god, this is so frustrating. This resin does not want to work with regular super glue.
What is the super glue you're using?
Citadel and P3 mixed together at this point.
That's your mistake.
Well, I tried both before single-handedly, and neither one of them worked. And it's,
Glue
weekend, so I'm too lazy to drive all the way back into Denver to grab anything for glue.
Is it the newer Citadel stuff, like the?
No, it's this old Citadel one.
Holy crap, that's old.
Yeah, so it's super thick. And then I had the P3 one, which obviously the label's not on it, but you've seen the new P3 bottles. They're really watery. So I just kind of mixed them back and forth in both bottles until it came out to like a medium consistency. And it glues. I mean, my fingers are getting stuck and everything else, but the resin, it doesn't want to glue the resin together.
And you've scored everything, and it's still doing that?
Yep.
Okay. Have you tried removing the excess glue from the previous attempts?
I have. Doing that right now.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I believe we need to, say some kind words for CJ over here. He's experiencing that hell that many of us go through at some point, in which those damned models will not do what I tell them to.
Right.
We've all been there. The last time I experienced that, I've experienced it heavily twice in my life, to the point of anger. To the point of like
getting angry, but
dissonant rage. Choice words for the model sitting in front of me. The first time was a War Machine Menoff Jack, ironically, but that one was all metal. We don't talk about putting together Necron monoliths. There's a special place in hell for the person who designed the Necron monolith. Well, it's perfect on all sides. The Necron monolith was a model that I got very early into my wargaming years. And I did not realize at the time how difficult that thing would be to put together. Now, eventually I figured out rubber bands, that helps hold it together and such.
I got a question for you. The spritzer stuff that you guys use, some of you guys use to set the super glue faster, is it basically rubbing alcohol?
No. Mine is InstaSet. It is an accelerator. Let's see, what's it got in here? Combustible liquid, synthetic hydrocarbons, and aromatic amine. Use with adequate ventilation. Avoid prolonged breathing or vapors. Don't huff the accelerator, guys. Don't do it. It's not cool. No, it's an accelerant. So this is definitely not alcohol.
Okay. Yeah, I've never used it. I'm just wondering if that would be something that would help out. Because I'm going to have to stop by another hobby shop on the way home from work tomorrow and pick up some new stuff for this. Because this super glue isn't working. I'm going to have to pick up another brand of some kind. Especially at $8 a bottle. Freaking murder.
Oh, yeah. Do you know how much this stuff cost me? The big, huge 8-ounce thing of MaxiCure?
$4.50.
$4.50?
$4.50, that's my guess.
No, $30.
$30? Jeez. I was hoping it was going to be cheaper than the this stuff.
I mean, how much comes in those? In terms of like ounces? Because this is 8 ounces. This is a huge bottle of glue. I'm barely, I use it pretty generously.
This is 1 ounce. So basically by that measure, that'd be 8 times 8, $64 for that? Yep.
That's why you buy in bulk, sir.
Yeah, well, believe me, Why do you think I bought all of these? I saved 60% or 30% off of these individually.
I gotta turn the air conditioner on. It got really hot in here all of a sudden. Weather has been crazy in Utah lately.
We're about to get some more rain. It's the first day we've had sun in like 3 weeks, and storm clouds are rolling in right now.
It was hot while I was out cutting bases today, which figured. As soon as I got done cutting bases, guess what it did?
Rain?
Oh, yeah. I was irritated by that. Let's see. I got a text message. What is my text message? Okay. All right, that's not open right now.
All right, give me 1 second. I am going to go top off my beverage.
Have fun with that. I am going to let's see, where's the threes at? There's the threes. Okay. I'm kind of getting a vibe for how this kit is constructed. Right now what I'm doing is I'm cutting out all of the side panel areas and then kind of cleaning up the areas here. One of the things you really find out with putting these plastic sets together is that they have the connection points, like where it doesn't quite cut through all the way. You can't see right there-ish. It doesn't completely release. And if you try to just push it out, it will long weekend. If you try to push it out, it'll actually rip some of the detail off the front here. So I'm just going through and cutting it out. A little bit more time consuming, but. So I haven't asked this time. What is everyone up to? Those who are watching us. Well, CJ is off getting his drink topped off. I'm actually going to probably grab myself one here and feed myself. Yeah, I've been working on this. I've been working on painting models all week, and then I've also been working on getting a huge Wizard's Tower piece for this game store project done. I got the frame to the Wizard's Tower put together, and I've been putting the cobblestone, well, not even cobblestone, it's more like brick wall work. It's going to be slightly frozen over in one brick at a time. Just because it's those kind of time-consuming techniques that make something look really awesome when you're done. It takes forever. It's really cool when it's finished up.
So I don't know why, but oddly enough, putting a drop of that isopropyl alcohol in with the glue is causing it to set.
That's interesting. Poor man's accelerant.
That's basically what I'm going to be doing here. That's 4 separate pieces glued together that wasn't glued together 5 minutes ago despite holding it for 10 minutes before that.
Woo!
I don't know if that made sense. So.
Yeah, I'm in cleaning mode right now. I'm just cleaning this, kind of hanging out and bullshitting. Well, you know what? This is really our bullshitting live shows. That's all we really do on these.
Yep.
We kind of sit here and just talk about random crap.
Nothing wrong with that.
We sit here and talk about random crap, build some stuff.
Sure.
All right, so Malifaux, have you played much Malifaux?
I have played a little Malifaux. I should play a lot more, especially considering how many people I know that play it. I think it's a really, really fun game.
Oh, it is. I actually saw they have the Whiskey Golem out for my Bayou Gremlins. I'm excited about that. So have you seen all the newer models they have out for 2nd edition, like the plastics?
Give me 1 second here. I'm trying to jump start my Magic collection again. Let's see.
Yeah.
Got a buddy who's willing to get me his magic collection that he's got right now for free, considering somebody had taken mine and, for all I know, burned it a year and a half ago, and I haven't played Magic since. So.
Why do I imagine this this goes into like a Family Guy segue of some guy that you used to know, like dancing around a fire, you know?
It was actually it was a woman that I used to work for. When the start of my struggles happened, she offered me to move in with her and her husband and their kids to kind of help them out. And unfortunately, it turned out to be a pretty bad situation. She had a drinking problem and other issues. And when I found out that the neighbors were saying that she was hurting my pets, I had to get out of there quickly. So I ended up having to leave my cards there, which she had actually hidden already for some stupid reason. I'm not quite sure why, other than for drama reasons. But yeah, I never was able to get a hold of her again to get my cards back. And last I heard, somebody said that she had burned them. So $20,000 worth of Magic cards from 1996 all the way up until about 2 years ago, gone.
I am sorry. That is horrible.
Yep. So I just haven't bought any Magic cards since then because it stung so much.
I can understand that. I got rid of mine a while back.
I miss it. I love playing it, but
You know what? I will say this. I kind of, when I started working at the comic shop last year, I kind of got back into Magic for like a minute. I didn't buy boosters. I bought like one card. It was just a Hive Lord, a Sliver Hive Lord for my Sliver deck. And I played a couple games, and then I remembered why I got out. And I decided, you know what? Rather than spend a butt ton of money, I just went and bought Magic 2015 on Steam, and
yeah.
that got my addiction.
That does help. And I mean, that's what I've been contemplating is, I mean, if he's willing to give me some free cards, that'll be cool. If I have to pay for them, I'm probably just going to go to Magic the Gathering online and just build up my collection on there, because then, well, if anything, it's a server crash, not, you know, everything going up in smoke.
Not maniacal crazy people. I will burn your unhappiness. But then if they burn your unhappiness, doesn't that make you happy? I think I went the wrong direction with that, CJ. You guys are seeing Grand Farm running on almost no sleep. I had like a nap for about an hour.
Yeah. I'm the same way sometimes. Last week there was a night, I mean, basically finalizing the board. I had on Thursday, I got off at 5:30. I drove an hour north to meet up with our Chelsea, our director of operations, to meet with the guy that we were going to appoint our director of learning. Drove an hour north to where this place was. Apparently the place had moved from where Google Maps or whatever showed me where it was, so I had to drive another 15 minutes even further north to there. We had our meeting, and then I got home, and that was another hour and a half drive all the way to the other side of Denver. So, like, by the time I went into work Friday morning, I was just zonked. I was waiting for 3:30 to show up. I'm like, I'm not even working 2 hours of overtime today. I'm just, I'm going straight home at starting my 3-day weekend early.
Yeah, I imagine once we're done with the show tonight, I'm probably going to lay down on the couch, turn on Netflix, and pass the heck out.
Yep. God, I took a nap yesterday and today. Possibly Saturday, too. I took a nap. I took a lot of naps this weekend. I enjoyed myself.
I worked a lot this weekend. I was working on Malifaux buildings. That's one of the things about these kits, I will say, is they're a little challenging to figure out because the instructions can be a little off at times. Like the instructions on some of them, the numbers aren't right. Because they have all the parts numbered, and then I was like, this doesn't make sense. So I figured out there's basically the walkways have it to where you can slide in the barriers that make the walls for the walkways. So that way you can do it in different configurations. And the little nubs that you put on the inside come in 2 different sizes. So that's about the only thing about these kits that was kind of interesting. Just kind of going through and realizing that these instructions are not correct.
Huh.
or they didn't include this, or this little slight, just little things. I mean, not every company is going to be perfect, but thankfully, if you're a wargame model person like we are, then you'll figure out a way to make it work. I'd say the only one that I had a major problem with was the sewer walkways kit. I think it was the sewer walkways kit.
Oh yeah, I think that one looked like it was a rough build. Like I've seen the kits, I just haven't gotten them yet.
Yeah, it was the one that had the wood planking stairwell, because it has these wood planking additions on the sides that it has like rails, and they don't fit at all the way you're supposed to put them in. And I was just sitting there going, okay, what do I do now? So then I basically had to end up like cutting up the sides of the stairs really hard. But that's the upside of this. If I'd had to do that with like MDF, I'd have been screwed. I'd have to bust out a Dremel. I would have been frustrated. I would have been probably, cursing the makers of the terrain kit who designed this poorly, designed thing.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not a big deal with these. One tiny little flaw. Guess what? I took the X-Acto knife, bing, bing, boom, 2 minutes, done.
Nice.
So yeah, I'm pretty pleased with these kits. So overall, I would say from a customizable standpoint, these kits are amazing.
Yeah, I do want to get them for Malifaux. I also want to get the official Malifaux board ones that they had, build a couple boards up for that. And then I want to get a few of the Plasticraft ones for Infinity. So I've got both the paper box ones that they've got and a little bit nicer ones like the Plasticraft ones. So see what happens with that.
Well, I'm just checking something on the instructions.
Yeah.
That's what I was checking. Sometimes they'll like print them like this. So this top one right here actually isn't part of this part of the model, but it's printed on it so that you can punch it out. It just saves on material. It's just
yeah.
It's like any sort of company that makes these kind of things. So sometimes I have to check to make sure that blank spots aren't being used as like a reinforcement point or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I'm glad I stumbled across this little technique.
Oh, we got a question from Wild Chevy. Do you know if anyone in Denver is going to pick up Feast of Blades?
Not that I know of as of right now. I know that there's people that have been interested supposedly in buying it, but I don't honestly believe anybody is going to. As far as our convention, what we're looking at is if Feast of Blades doesn't have a buyer and we find ourselves still needing a lot of things like terrain and particle boards and felts and things like that, there's a possibility we might purchase parts of the Feast of Blade inventory for logistical purposes, but the entity itself, as far as I know, is not being picked up by anybody. That brand might be over.
Yeah, it does sound like it might be the end of an era right there, right?
Yeah.
It's always sad to see that happen, but I mean, things like that do happen.
Yep.
Sometimes, I mean, it's like they were saying on their website, life happens, and you gotta. That's just a sad reality.
It is. So we'll see what ends up happening.
I wish them well. The old organizers. I hope they can get it sold to someone, just at least so that way, because I imagine that's probably also a big deal for the people who started it. It's always sad to see something that you put a lot of work and effort to just go south.
Yeah, it really is. And I mean, like, fortunately, like a lot of the TOs, they're still moving on. There might not be a Feast of Blades this year, but the people who did Warhammer Hordes and Warhammer Fantasy Battles, they still have events going this year. So those are pretty cool. In fact, the event that was going to be at Feast for Privateer Press, they are moving it to the Rocky Mountain Rumble, which will get absorbed in my convention next year. It will still be an Iron Gauntlet qualifier, I believe is what they call
So
Cool.
yeah, I think it'll be a pretty solid deal.
And I understand that you are now officially going to be using a Titan Terrain Studio for your terrain needs and purposes.
For the top tables, definitely, because I want to broadcast those, and so whatever we determine to be the top tables, we have a little bit of constraints, so we probably won't do it for every single game and every single system out there. But I foresee, at the very least, Privateer Press being a top table.
Wait. You're not going to build a Weasels and Wombats board? What's wrong with you?
What is a Weasel and Wombats board?
Wombats. It's like the best, middle of nowhere Scandinavian war game that uses Weasels and Wombats. I'm just screwing with you.
I have no idea. So, we're definitely going to do for the War Mahort's top table. I'd like to see one for Fantasy and 40K. Let's see, what else is a big system out here? Malifaux, maybe. I don't know if we'll have a lot of Malifaux out, because I think even at Gen Con, Malifaux doesn't have more than 50 people show.
What I'd suggest is just get some of these.
Those?
Yeah. If you get some of these are now that I've already put a set of them together at this point, those are my recommendation for the Malifaux stuff.
How much do you charge for a set of Malifaux kit like that?
I'll let you know when I'm done with this.
All right.
Because I'm still kind of figuring out how long these actually take me. Because first build, when I'm putting kits together, I can never accurately predict how quickly I can do it. So I have to kind of learn how the kit goes together first. It's a constant learning experience, this business.
Yes, it is.
But
no, that could definitely work there, and then maybe like same thing for an Infinity top table or something. I don't really know if Infinity's a top table though, because I think the guys that run Infinity out here, they kind of just do like a giant group thing or something. So I need to find out more about how they organize their Infinity stuff.
I heard the Krug podcast had some problems too, didn't it?
The Krug are the guys I'm talking about. Krug itself is not part of Weekend Warriors, but two of the guys that are on the podcast are. And I've been meaning to get them down here so we can start doing some Infinity bat reps and stuff. Dex and Enduro Joe. Yeah, they're the ones that basically, especially Joe and Rob Rock, they did most of the promotion of Infinity out here. They were the ones that got Corvus Belli to come out, Carlos and Gutier.
Yeah, I've kind of had to back burner my design plans for the moment. I've got my guys working on some some practical stuff like some paint racks and such.
Yeah.
I've just been so swamped with some deadline work, trying to get different things finished up, just so I can get a free moment to breathe. So eventually, hopefully sometime in the next month or so, I'll have enough time to sit down and start sketching out some serious designs for our Infinity stuff.
Nice.
It's just, you have many hats, and you can only wear so many of them and so many times.
That is true.
Hey, we're at 6 viewers! Huzzah! Woo! The Canadian Barbarian.
Are the Denver Metas coming to the Utah Game Convention? I don't know. That's kind of what I was wondering, because I know that as far as Infinity goes, there's a few of those guys that are talking about going down to an Infinity tournament down in Albuquerque, where Wargamer Girl lives.
Just, don't take a wrong turn. Come on. That's a classic.
I'm going to ignore that. Just throwing that out there.
Come on! That's Bugs Bunny. Come on. You can't. I'm sorry if I distracted you.
You're fine. Damn it. There we are, I think.
Hey, at least I didn't do it with a carrot in my mouth.
Lord. There we are. That's what I was trying to do.
We're losing viewers. That's how bad my humor is tonight.
Alrighty. But yes, there's that event thing going on. Yep, both of those did fall. Where's the other one? Oh, I'm sorry. You okay, Dakota? Didn't see it behind me there, sweetheart.
Little puppy dog.
Gotta watch out for these pets, man. They just pop up out of nowhere.
Okay, so I'm trying to figure out something. So I'm gonna just officially say this: if you're one of the people that's playing in my my Game of Thrones RPG that I'm going to be running, get the heck out of this live show for a few minutes. Just because I'm gonna spitball some ideas and see what CJ and some of the guys that are listening to me thinks. For those of you who are familiar with the Game of Thrones universe, there is the Old Town is the home of the Citadel and the Meisters, all that jazz. And it's already been written in canon that necromancy will get you kicked out of the Order of the Maesters.
Right.
So, what I'm thinking about doing is one of the early nasty plots, because they're going to have some major plots up until Robert's Rebellion starts. One of them, because I like to run multiple plots, because you never have just one thing going on. It doesn't make sense. What I was going to do is have a group of renegades, like renegade maesters, running around, getting bandits to raid crypts and graveyards all over the place. Because in the Reach, that would be a fairly disturbing thing. Because the Reach is all, the civilized area of Westeros. I think the Reach is like Royal England. If we're talking we're talking I'm trying to think of a good example. Very, very uppity. If Mel was here, he'd be able to throw out an example like that, but he is not here, so I can't throw out a good example. Let's say royal family, yeah, all the stereotypes that you hear about royal families in various medieval times, That's basically how a lot of the houses in the Reach act. He's cleaned up. I've only got 3 of them. Where's the 4th one?
So those look fine. Let's see if we can
Oh, there's the 4th one. I was like, that's not a good sign. Where's the 4th wall? And I'm not over here like Deadpool.
I was just thinking that.
You got the reference.
I was just thinking, 4th wall. What? How is he breaking the 4th wall?
I wasn't breaking it. I was missing the 4th wall.
Yeah. That's good stuff.
He is a Canadian barbarian. He is building Legion of Everblight.
Yes. Took a little bit of a vote earlier. So behind me, I went a little bit crazy this weekend.
Legion.
So I got both the 2-player starter sets for Hordes and War Machine. I've already had the Hordes one for about 2 years now. Just haven't really done much with it yet. And then this weekend I picked up the all-in-one army boxes for Circle of Boros, Protectorate of Minnoth, and Legion of Everblight. Only one I need to find still is Khador. And this will basically be the start of what will be my studio armies for the Weekend Warrior channel's battle reports.
Huzzah!
Because we have not done any battle reports in a while, and I've got enough time, I should probably start doing some.
Did you see that horrible, horrible battle report?
Was it one of mine?
The one that I did with Colin?
No.
It was not very... We were just kind of playing a game and just decided to record it, so it wasn't a very good battle report, but it's 750 points of murder. It wasn't even a big game, but we ended up playing for 4 or 5 hours just because it was such a close, intense game.
Did you guys do a live one or what?
No, we recorded it and then I edited it and put it up on YouTube. This was a couple months back, but I had the footage laying around. Planning on doing more higher quality battle reports when I have time.
Yeah.
You know.
They do take time.
Yes, they do. Chung actually went on a little bit of a talk about that because Miranda Wargamer Girl started a Patreon campaign, and if you like her stuff, you should go over and you should drop a couple bucks in there to help her out.
Yep.
And he was just basically talking about, yeah, I mean, you got to take into account how much time and effort. A lot of the people who do the really high quality bat reps aren't getting paid to do this.
No, they're not. And the amount of time that goes into a high quality one, the equipment, the editing. Let's put it this way. The general rule of thumb for editing is 10 minutes for every minute of video. So if you're getting a 10 to 30 minute video, you're talking, what, 100 to 300 minutes? That's well over an hour to upwards of, what, 3 hours, 4 hours?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, there's a lot of time and effort that goes into that. Mad respect.
Oh, yeah. And, I mean, you look at the quality, like, what Miranda puts out on her channel.
Oh, God.
I'm sitting there going, if I had to try and do that, that's like a full-time gig onto its own. So it's no wonder that they that the higher quality bat reps you see out there are not put out as often because of all like the layovers and the CGIs, and just the bookkeeping between different camera angles and such.
Yep.
Well,
I mean that's. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just saying, this is this scene, and this is that scene, and then this goes here.
Yep.
And then don't drop your sharp new X-Acto blade into your lap, because then you'll be singing soprano.
Yeah, see, I'm planning on doing that. I'm going to get that high-end level of equipment, and I'm going to get it set up here, and I'm going to do some nice overlays.
For a second there, you were going to drop your X-Acto knife into your lap, but okay, carry on.
That as well.
Okay.
No, like for the...
On that note, I'm going to get a beer.
I am going to be doing the same thing on my channel. I'm going to end up getting a really high-end scanner. I'm going to do a lot of nice overlays, but I'm talking maybe one video a week on our channel if it's just me doing stuff. If the rest of the weekend warriors can help out, then we could probably get up more. But there's a lot of time and effort that goes into that. And, I mean, I really do want to get more people into the hobby, so that's why I want to do some higher-end stuff aimed more towards the casual gamers and the new players to get them to try the system. And then if they do like... if they like watching it and want to get something a little bit more advanced, I can point them in the direction of some channels that really do technical, high-end type videos and tips and tutorials. So.
Okay, cool. I apologize, guys, for being so tired. This has been a long weekend.
MGD? Oh, no, Apple. Reds, Apple.
Mm-mm. Red strawberry.
Red strawberry. Okay.
I don't know. There's something that the aftertaste, I don't like it. It tastes weird. All right. So what's everybody working on tonight? Well, you're hanging out with me and CJ as we build our stuff. And we talk about random crap.
Let's see here. So it's hit or miss. Some of these it is working with the alcohol on there. I think it's evaporating the water. Other ones not so much.
Mm-hmm. Doesn't sound fun.
It's better than I was dealing with for the last 2 days trying to get all of those, what, 5 models put together? 7? 7 models. It took me 2 days to put together because of this. I did, however, find these two, the little objective markers, so I'm excited to use them.
Yeah, something I'm wanting to eventually get into is doing like some casting for like objective markers at some point. That's gonna be way, way later. Think about converting my basement into a casting station so I can do it year round.
Ooh, a Troll Scaldi. And let's see, War Games Factory Orcs to use in D&D. Nice. Are you playing 5th edition there, Christian Oliver?
And Painting War Games Factory Orcs. Cool. Troll Sculpting. That sounds pretty fun. By the way, did you see that huge Vampire Counts army that I got the other day?
I think I saw you post it, yeah.
Yeah, if you guys...
It is sizable.
Yeah, if anybody's interested in Warhammer Fantasy and they haven't really caught up on my channel that much, or haven't seen recent videos, we have a ton of them up on recent videos for sale. I've been acquiring quite a bit of Warhammer Fantasy. People are just like either not interested in where the game's going, or they're just offloading excess armies that they don't need. End times had that effect around here, to where people are hunkering down and choosing which armies they want to focus on now.
All right, well, that finally set.
Well, that's good.
The tail portion for Angelis.
So, have you been watching Game of Thrones?
Yes, every episode. Well, what was it about last night? There was something about last night. Oh, I really like how a certain somebody got what was coming to her at the end of the episode last night.
Oh yeah, I was as soon as I saw all that stuff going down. Attention, kids! Spoilers! Spoilers!
I'm gonna try not to put any spoilers, but let's just say
spoilers right now so that you can mute the show for a second while I talk about Game of Thrones episode last night.
It is Frotz. He is definitely putting together a Malifaux building.
Huh?
Frotz.
Yes.
Frost?
Yes.
001.
See? I'm building the tower.
And then Bastania is putting together his
Yeah, I
Valkyrie.
told you I was going to work on Malifaux this week.
Yay!
I was just really behind last week, and I needed the time to catch up a little bit.
Yeah, but yeah, the last night's episode, I was very happy with how that ended, because I've had a problem with that character for quite a while.
I'm going to say something, and I did not think I'd ever say this, but after some heavy analysis and some thoughts about it, I actually like the diverging version of Game of Thrones that the show is becoming compared to the last two books.
Really?
Yes. The reason why is that the things they're doing with the characters now, characters that they're changing, I'll just say it flatly, Jaime Lannister kind of just disappeared in book 4. He wasn't doing any of the stuff that he's doing in the show. And same thing with Bronn. Bronn just, kind of disappeared after book 3. Just into the background. And they're making the characters' stories interesting. They're taking them in new directions. We're seeing new stuff. And especially the stuff with like Tyrion last night. That didn't happen in the books. that they're really accelerating it now into its own area. And there's some people that don't like that, but I personally think that book 4 and 5 were really friggin' slow and were really difficult to get through sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Which Lilith are you working on, Frost?
Hold on a second. Oh, that's funny. So apparently one of the guys who's watching the show can't get the chat to work. But he asked me when the last time I played Cthulhu versus Frat Boys. I think I've talked about this on the show before, haven't I?
Possibly.
Okay, so David Groves is a guy that I used to hang out with occasionally, and I did some painting for him back in the day when I lived in Kentucky. And I met him at a gaming con. It was the Forge Gaming Con. It was the only time the Forge Gaming Con ever happened. It's one of those ones that did fairly successful, but was such a big headache that, the founders basically said, well, this was fun, let's never do this again. And we played a game system called Quags. Who here has heard of Quags?
Mm-hmm.
I'll just go ahead. Those of you who have not heard of Quags, stands for Quick Ass Gaming System. Just a little simple 3-stat role-playing game that you can pretty much throw any little thing on top of.
Mm-hmm.
And I jumped into this demo game. We were playing college frat boys to save the world from Cthulhu on spring break. And it's pretty much turned into Animal House on an island. Because one of the things they had going on is you got these little things called yum-yums, which were basically like little natural 20s in your back pocket for doing cool things. And the three of us just had horrible amounts of frat boy sort of personalities that we just made up on the fly. We had no basis whatsoever. I was basically playing John Belushi from Animal House. And yeah, David looked at my shirt and saw, the Cthulhu right there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hey, when's the last time you saved the world from Cthulhu? While wearing a Viking helmet and sneakers.
That's fun.
Good times, good times. That was awesome. But yeah, I do like where Game of Thrones is going with the new season. What do you think of the guy who's playing the High Sparrow? I think they chose a really good actor for him.
High Sparrow.
The new, I like the whole, the really...
Oh, High Sparrow, right. Yeah, that guy, I like that actor a lot. That actor is actually a very, very great actor. I like him a lot of the other stuff. I can't think of anything else that he's been in right now, but we were talking about that last time, my roommate and me, and I think that it's nice to see him getting a little bit bigger role.
Mm-hmm. All right, now that I've got all those cut out, I have to start looking for particular numbered pieces. This is the frustrating part.
All right, let's see if we can get this.
Damn!
Okay.
Damn. All right, apparently that was a thing. Hold on. Trying to see what's going on here. You remember what I told you about them not numbering things right?
Yes.
That. So they've numbered two things as number 5. Two separate things. One of them is one of the giant walls that I'm holding in my hands.
Okay.
And the other thing is like a set of doors. There's the thing that I needed. Okay, I figured it out. So all these doors that I set off to the side are the number 5. But yeah, that's unfortunately the only really big complaint I've got with these kits is the instructions on the website need to be updated. If you are Classcraft Games guys, come on, update your stuff. Come on. So now I have found the number 5. Where is the number 3? Where is that number 3? Are they doing the same thing with the number 3s? Because if they do that will make me happy.
Alrighty.
Let's see, Frauds. Oh yeah, the Malifaux. This terrain is huge for Malifaux. I mean, it is big. I'll be putting up a completed assembly video in the next day or two of the entire set. It's actually multiples. I've only got one of the towers, but then I've got the others. I've got multiples of everything. That's for a client trade-in, but yeah, it's an insane amount of size that are in these buildings. I mean,
if you buy just one of each of the boxes that they make, is it enough for a full 3x4?
Easily.
4? Okay.
So let me give you an example. Here's the tower, roughly the size it stands at, right? Here is a Warhammer 40,000 Bulgrin.
Oh. Okay.
That's rather big, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a really decent size.
So yeah.
Because Malifaux's what, about half the size of the Ogre?
Yeah, Malifaux. Okay, so here's a first edition Nicodeme model. So an actual Malifaux model, first edition Nicodine. Considering that the new plastics vary about the same size, roughly.
Yeah. Well, right on.
So yeah, pretty big model. Oh, for those of you who weren't here earlier, I'll be putting together all my Malifaux over the next couple weeks to a month or so, and I will be painting it. I will also probably get around to painting my Inagata Davida Nicodine crew. It's my first edition Nicodine crew that I never finished before Malifaux dried up in my area, and then I've only recently gotten back into it.
Mm-hmm. Really, I feel like Malifaux's really only big out in California right now.
It's got a decent amount of people out here. They're just all like in the northern part of Utah Valley, and I don't know them.
Gotcha.
I know
that there's a lot of Malifaux players out there, but I just don't see them gathering at stores or anything in the area.
Yeah, it's one of those things of I'm actually thinking, depending on how things go with my schedule, I might try to start doing demos for Malifaux here locally.
Are you a henchman?
Oh, I would become one, because I have technically, once I get everything put together and painted, I will have a full terrain set and 2-3 crews.
That's a good number. Yeah.
Yeah, it would be a fairly decent amount. All right. What the heck? They have... Okay, so I am very frustrated with the labeling. They're using the same numbers repeatedly. All right, so, for instance, this door is called number 3, right?
Not number 2?
Well, yeah, but... Mind out of the gutter.
Well, not that number 2, but...
no, that one's number 3, and I can see which one it probably is meant to be. But then they also have all these others that are listed as number 3s as well. So where the heck are those? The most I can think is that, yeah, like these apparently are supposed to be number 3s as well, but they're completely different pieces. So it's like whoever did this didn't do a good job. Oh no.
Unfortunate.
So I figured it out finally. All of these centerpieces need to be popped out. Are number 3s, in addition to this door being number 3s. But that's not very clear. It takes you a moment to kind of sit there and go, but that's not the same size. That makes no sense. So, figure it out pretty quickly. Still annoying. So let's see. And then I've got the number 5s, which are these, which is also double labeled, I might add. It almost feels like they decided that people, I hate to say it this way, but you really have to design your instructions for the person who won't be able to figure it out on their own.
Yeah.
Let's see. When in doubt, rubber band and test fit. I don't need a rubber band and test fit this. I've already got it mostly figured out at this point. All right, so now that I know which pieces are going to be going next, I'll start cutting out all these and cleaning these and getting these ready to be popped into place. Actually, so here's the upside. Sometimes you kind of figure out that with these kits that certain areas just won't be seen at all. So if I'm correct, let me see which one I need to grab for the number 5s. It would be this one. Yes, it would be that one. Let me look at the picture just to make sure I'm right. Yep, looks like I am right. So these are basically just going to get glued in right behind here. So there's no point in me having to clean them then. Because really they're literally window dressing. But that was horrible. I'm sorry. I apologize for torturing you all with my horrible sense of humor tonight. First, I start in with the wrong turn at Albuquerque jokes. Oh, let's take a look here. Hey, we got 8 people with us. All right, CJ, so what has got you so quiet and enamored? You're looking something up on the internet, aren't you?
I am, yes.
What is it you are looking up?
Just looking up other ways to be building some of these guys up. Because I'm trying to figure out if I want to get anything else on top of these army boxes to kind of round them out.
I would always magnetize if I were you.
That actually probably would not have been too bad of an idea. Although, I don't think I've actually assembled any of the stuff that have multiple options yet. So,
wait to do that.
Probably do that.
Magnets, and it will just take you a short evening to get that all magnetized. Trust me, you will be so much happier to do that, because then you'll have all the different options.
Yeah.
Completely worth it. Apparently, a friend of mine just texted me telling me he's stalking me on YouTube. Dan, I see you out there on the internet. Okay. Oh, boy. So Frot's fiance still laughed next to him. I must have missed something. It's probably the lateness kicking in on me. I'm starting to reach that slap happy point.
Let's see here.
All right, CJ. So you like the Flash now? What else? What else is there? What other? You know, as much as I hate to say it, I've just never been a big DC hero fan. I'm a DC villains fan.
Let's see here. I don't know. I do watch a lot of really random different things.
I have been collecting the new Deathstroke series. I will say that. Are you familiar with Deathstroke the Terminator?
I'm familiar with Deathstroke from Arrow.
That is Deathstroke the Terminator.
Yep. Yeah, he is not bad.
I haven't actually gotten to the episodes in Arrow where he's present, but I understand. I watched a clip on YouTube just to see what the outfit looked like, and I kind of had a moment of, oh, that looks so good. Like I saw in the first season where he just has the really crappy mask. And then when they flesh him out with the armor, that's when I was like, ah, that's great. That's awesome. That's what we want to see. We want to see more of the armor, more of the badass. I'm not a Deathstroke fanboy at all, am I? No, sir. I think we have lost CJ to Researchville.
Let's see here. All right, sorry, I'm done zoning.
You're done zoning out? I was waiting. I was worried that I'd said something that like fried a chunk of his brain.
No, I was just trying to look through and get some ideas of how else to handle some of this stuff. So I'm definitely going to have to magnetize some of these. Fortunately, I have not assembled any of the models that have options. I mean, I have the 2-player starter sets, the War Beasts and the what do you call them? The War Beasts and the heavy War Machine thingies. They don't come with options, fortunately. So I mean, they're all put together as is. But the ones inside of the candy boxes.
Frot's 01's fiance laughed at my window dressing joke. So there. Ha! I am vindicated. I am feeling good.
Excellent.
Someone likes my humor.
Oh, and on Bassania, yes, X-Wing. X-Wing is still got a good group in South Denver out here. But yeah, I know that a lot of different areas don't have a lot of X-Wing right now. But I also see a lot of people going towards Armada to check it out since it just came out.
Armada's pretty fun. I liked when I demoed it on the 4th, and it was pretty good.
There. I'll take care of those. Here. So, yeah, trying to figure out what I'm going to do with all these because I am itching to get some games in. I really want to get more people down here to game because I hate traveling to game stores since so many of them are, they're just so far away from me. I will always buy from them, but I just I hate going to play several nights a week because it's going to be a half-hour to hour drive home for me.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Austin from Brush for Hire actually started a new video series where they were talking about getting a new guy started in wargaming and the pitfalls and the ups and downs and all that. And he was just like, he commented on something and it occurred to me, the easiest way to get people into wargaming or just into a game that you like in general is just to buy them a starter set. And just be like, here, I got you this. Because then they kind of like feel at least obligated to give it a shot. And then they realize they like it. And the entry, we all have that sort of like, do I really want to get into this new thing? You know, it kind of pushes them over the edge, you know, get them to leap.
Yeah, I did that for one of my buddies to get him into Warhammer Fantasy. He hadn't played any miniature games, and so I picked him up army box and a rule book for Warhammer Fantasy, and he started getting into it, which was really kind of cool. Even though I don't play fantasy, but I know that's what he wanted to do, and I just wanted to get some kind of gateway miniature game drug into his possession. So. Armada is reportedly easier to learn.
It is.
Interesting.
What I liked about Armada, I'll say this, that it does... Okay, the guy I played the demo against, I kind of felt bad for him because he wasn't a miniature wargamer. So he didn't grasp the nuances as quickly as I did. And Dan was actually there that night when we were playing. But he was off playing like 40K, I think. But you have to do all of your turns. You have to choose the orders to give your ships 3 turns in advance. So you kind of have to guesstimate and use tactical knowledge of what you think your opponent is going to try and do and what they're capable of doing.
Well, see, and that's what intrigues me right now is it's almost like chess to me from what I've seen. I would like to play it because it's like a game where you have to think several turns ahead.
Exactly. But that's what kind of makes it awesome, too.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
That's there. That's there. Ugh. Let that one sit. This shouldn't be too bad of a start for these Legion.
You know, now that you said that, it's going to be all downhill from there.
Why? Oh, hey, no jinxing.
No jinxing?
No jinxing me.
No jinxing you?
I meant this is not a bad start to having an army, not assembly. Let's clarify. I don't need this to become more difficult to assemble.
Oh, no, I was just trying to put the hoodoo on your dice. So that if you go like 5 games and you just can't roll anything successful, you know who to blame.
Oh, no, here's a story for you. So yesterday we have we're running our Pathfinder game, and we got one guy, he just keeps rolling 20s, natural 20s, confirming his crits, everything, right? So I'm like, hey, do you mind if I see your die? And he's like, okay. So I see it, and I just blow on it and give it back to him. And then all of a sudden, just by dumb luck, he's not getting any good rolls on it anymore. So he switched up to another D20. And every time he got a 20, like a natural 20 on anything else the rest of the day, I try to like reach for it. And finally, he wasn't paying attention one time, and I start walking around the table to where I've got all the snacks, and I just snag it from underneath him.
Oh, that was a good time. So.
I've done that in reverse before, though. Like, I've walked up to someone and been like, they're having a bad game, and I'll sit there and I'll be like, well, you know, your next roll will be good. And then I've also, like, sapped the energy out of people's dice really badly. Reminds me, I need to get new dice.
Why do you need more dice or new dice?
I was talking with my friend Brittany. She's the 40K guru organizer for WGC. And casino dice roll better. Like, there's a statistical fail rate for most gaming dice that is way higher than normal casino dice.
Yes.
So,
I have heard of this before.
And honestly, I'm kind of tired of using the tiny dice. So I want to get a set of really nice casino dice just to have them. Because they make them in, like, gamer colors now. They're not all just, you know, casino looking.
Yeah.
And they're about the same price. That's the best part. You just can't get them in game stores because they aren't through distributors. Like, they're only made independently by certain companies.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got some. I don't really care to use them as much. I'm fine with all mine. Like, when it comes to, so yeah, like for these games, Wormahorgs, all my dice are the special edition Q Workshop ones. I've got, you know, the little cubes that they make for Games Workshop.
Mm-hmm.
I've got one of each of those, so I have a lifetime supply of Games Workshop D6. I really don't care too much about getting any other specialty dice and using them for everything. More, I like to use faction dice, something that, you know, matches what I'm playing.
Slow going, but you see the tower. I'm putting all the panels in place for the most part.
Yep. Demon rolling. That's awesome.
What's that?
Frost there is saying that there's a friend who rolls so well he has a rumor of having demon rolling.
That sounds pretty good. Okay. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill in the panels on these, and we are probably going to call it for the night because I am starting to really feel myself chugging here.
No problem.
So we still got a little bit to hang out with you guys. I want to at least get these panels fit in where I'm doing them right now. Yeah, because then after the panels will come the floor, putting all the flooring in. Okay, wait, now that I'm looking at it and I'm past all the confusing stuff, this kit's actually not that difficult to put together once you get past all the mismatched instructions. Yeah, it's really just 4 walls and a midsection building area. Oh, that's neat. It's got a ladder, so you have an escape hatch from the 2nd floor.
Nice.
Yeah. Interesting. Removable roof. Pretty neat. Now, this kit will look really nice when it's done.
There we are. Yeah, this is not a bad setup. I got most of this done tonight. Angelus, I'm not going to be able to do without getting a pin vise again. But everything else has come together fairly nicely tonight.
Yeah, this one is going pretty good. I'd say that this is probably one of the easier kits once you get past the instruction problem. Once you're past that, probably one of the easier kits, just because it's all one big kit. So the thing about the walkways that's difficult is that there's so many of them, and they each individually have to be kind of trimmed in areas to make sure everything fits together correctly.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's go ahead and look at these. People, stop texting me. Oh. Okay. So I need the 3s and the 5s. Which one is this one? Okay, so I need the 3s for this one. There's the door from the 2nd floor. I'm not trying to rhyme. Don't kill me. And then the 5s are. No, this is the 3s. Oh, okay. I almost did that wrong. Let me double check this. These are the 3s. Double check the picture again. Yeah, all right. Oh. So what are you still up to, CJ? What are you doing over there? Still working on stuff?
Yes. Pulling stuff together till it glues.
Ah, okay. All right. Something about what your plans are for War in the Hordes.
What my plans are?
Yeah, like what are your how big of armies do you want to get to, or do you have certain which warcasters you're going for, stuff like that?
Let's see here. So right now I'm basically going to focus on utilizing what I've got to learn the game system. The game or the army boxes did come with some inserts on how to like expand your forces to 50 points, and then how to do alternate 35-point lists. So I'm probably going to pick up those individual units to round these all out, but it'll be a long while before I expand beyond that. I want to really figure out how each of these plays, find out which armies I like the most, and kind of go from there.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I mostly when I got into it, I went for the ones I liked. Originally, I wanted to do Khador, but there was a guy I used to game with back home who got into it with me, who was he was so, I don't know, the kid had problems at the time. Yeah, that's the simplest way to put it, and he just basically threw a fit over playing Khador, and I was just like, fine, I'll just play Protectorate. They're just as cool. I was just excited to get to try the game.
Yeah.
Now, when I started Legion, that was because I actually thought Legion were pretty cool. And I didn't get a starter set version. I got the old metal battle box. Got it on sale at a game store that was going out of business. And I went with Thargosh for my my Legion Warcaster. Have you read through any of the fluff or background or any of the strategy stuff yet?
Not much, no. I've kind of glanced through the cards. I watched the video on Privateer's YouTube page on how the game works. I did get that one demo in with Miranda a couple years ago using her Khador. So I've got an idea of the system, but now it's a matter of actually practicing and learning the rules. Because, I mean, the only game I ever really memorized was 40K up until 6th edition. And I'd like to get to memorize these rules for a couple other systems too. So
nice. Well, what Warcaster came with your box for Legion?
For Legion, you get Lilith, Herald of Everblight with the 2-player battle box. And then with this one, you get Seiren, Omen of Everblight.
I don't know anything about Seiren, but Lilith is kind of a long-rangey type person, I think. She's got the bow, and then doesn't her feet like make it to where everything kills a lot better?
Think so?
I've got a Lilith. I've always gone with Thargosh. You know what Thargosh's feat does?
No.
Well, this is basic Thargosh, the prime one, or this, as they like to call it, prime Thargosh.
Mm-hmm.
Not the epic version. Once per game, you can pop his feat to bring back any war beast that had died previously. So yeah, my big huge Carnivian that you killed, it's back, and it's hungry.
Very nice. Here. I'm gonna do an update here real quick. Let's see.
So I will say there's one mess up that DC Comics has done with the new 52 that I don't like.
What's that?
Lobo. You remember Lobo?
I don't know if I do.
The trash-talking mercenary, intergalactic bounty hunter, white skin, looks like a heavy metal stereotype.
No.
Short version, they took away all the heavy metal stereotype, and I was just like, oh, come on, that's what made him look cool. And it didn't end well. Like at first, the first appearance of him wasn't half bad, but then they did this whole storyline like earlier this year, and I didn't like where it was going. Plus, he kind of looks like a little bit of a Nancy boy. I'm sitting there going, no, that's not Lobo. That's not Lobo. You can't change the character that much and make me like it.
Yeah.
You know, he went from this, you know, long-haired sort of stereotypical biker mixed with an alien
Okay.
to this short-haired sort of, still a mercenary, still a bounty hunter, but more of a, I don't know, just your average pretty boy superhero.
Huh.
Not properly intergalactic bounty hunter, in my opinion. Of course, that's just me. I might have a bias.
Who is your favorite bounty hunter?
Who is my favorite?
Or not bounty hunter, but outlaw.
Outlaw?
Yeah, like space outlaw. You got a few to choose from.
Oh my God. You're putting me on the spot here. Okay, are we talking what limits do well? Okay, space outlaw, so that definitely means that it's fictional.
I'll Star-Lord, Malcolm Reynolds, Han Solo, etc., etc.
Okay, so pretty much from anything. There's no limit to this. Okay.
Right.
That's a toughie. That is a toughie. Outlaw. Intergalactic outlaw. I'm sorry, but none of the Marvel ones are going to top that. I mean, there's some good ones in Marvel, don't get me wrong. Star-Lord's nice and all. But, you know, okay, so I'm going to have to narrow this down. Lobo is definitely ranking up in the top 3, I'd say. I'm going to have to say, just from the ones I can think of right now, Black Tower Terrain said Sinestro is the best space outlaw. That's a good point. Technically, Sinestro an outlaw. Or are we talking more like cowboy outlaw? Are we just talking general criminal in space?
I guess just general, because I guess Han Solo wouldn't really be a cowboy outlaw. Mel would. But yeah, just in general.
All right, hold on. I gotta do a quick Google to make sure I'm not forgetting something. Space criminal. That did not pull up nearly what I thought it would. Okay, I think I know who I'm going to say, and it's only because it's a little different and a little unexpected.
Just a sec.
So, where I'm going to go with, see, did CJ go somewhere? Okay.
No, I'm here.
Okay. I'm going to go with Vash the Stampede.
Vash?
Vash the Stampede, the humanoid typhoon.
Okay. What's he from?
He's from the anime Trigun.
Okay.
You know, he's actually a pretty okay guy. You know, he's all about love and peace. Except, you know, when you screw with him and then he, like, you know, goes all, like, crazy, dodgy, you know, messing with you. And then my favorite thing that he ever did was he actually tried to be scary and use his humanoid typhoon reputation, even though he's a complete goof, against them. So he started slowly walking towards these bad guys, singing a horrible, horrible, bad song about total slaughter. And and how everyone was going to die. And there was like a line that said "la-di-da-di-die genocide," and it was just so horrible that even the bad guys were sitting there going, "This is a horrible song. What's wrong with you?" Oh, jeez. But if we're not talking, ooh, Dan made a good point. What about Cowboy Bebop? Those guys are pretty badass.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I don't think we're going to count Thanos as an outlaw. He's more like an omnipotent, horrible, bad thing in space. What do you think, CJ? I don't think Thanos counts as an outlaw.
No. He's just a villain.
He's just evil. That's all he is. Nobody likes Thanos. Okay. What else? What else we got here? The Cowboy Bebop crew would be good examples, I'd say. I'd say that's a fair one. Outlaw Star. Those are other good ones. I mean, we do got to give it up to Malcolm Reynolds to a certain degree. He pulled off the pretty floral bonnet. No. Oh, I just figured it out. Wait, it just dawned on me. It's not Malcolm Reynolds. It's not Thanos. It's not any of those. It's not Vash the Stampede. You know who it is?
Who?
It is what's her face from Firefly. Christina Hendricks played her. The really, really attractive busty redhead who practically jacked everybody's stuff all the time. What is her name in the show? You know who I'm talking about?
No.
Okay. It's on the tip of my tongue. Saffron. She's got to be my all-time favorite. And the only reason why is she could probably steal everything I own and I would still be happy. That's Saffron. That's just the horrible person in me just being happy that I have Christina Hendricks in my presence. I can't believe you don't remember Saffron, CJ.
Oh no, Saffron. Yes.
Yes,
I do. Let's see here.
One of Mal's wives. Yes.
Who's emailing me here, or was that you that popped up?
Oh, that was me. That pinked. Let's see. All right. Well, guys, you know what? As much as I would like to try and finish this out, I'm suddenly feeling my energy level dip quite hard. So I will give this a finish tomorrow, and we will confer again on Monday night, at which point I will be working probably on my Bayou Gremlins. But thank you for joining us on Memorial Day, and hopefully you guys had a good weekend, and someone is at my door, so this is perfect timing. Anyway,
Hey,
I will talk to you all later, and you all take care and enjoy your evening.
have a good one.